Hello there, my sleepy fellows. Tonight, let us journey together beneath the shadowed peaks of the Misty Mountains, where mystery and magic intertwine in fascinating curtains. If you enjoy this gentle storytelling journey, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to stay connected to more tales from Middle-earth. Do let me know from where you are listening so I can see where my stories are reaching. Tonight, we will explore the hidden passages beneath these mighty mountains, where forgotten legends whisper through stone corridors and a race against time begins. Prepare to leave behind the worries of your day as we embark on a tale that will gently lead you into the depths of slumber. We follow the path of a brave soul who ventures beneath the Misty Mountains, a place of shadow and wonder where time and light seem to fade. It is a journey filled with mystery and ancient secrets where the walls hum softly with stories of the past. Imagine dark, winding tunnels illuminated by faint, glowing fungi and the sound of distant water echoing through the caverns. This is where our story unfolds, a tale of courage, wisdom, and discovery set against the quiet heartbeat of Middle-earth. As you settle in to listen, let the soothing rhythm of this tale carry you to a place of calm. If you enjoy this journey, consider leaving a small token of appreciation, perhaps a like or a gentle comment. These gestures help to keep our magical fires burning and allow us to share more stories of wonder with those seeking peace and rest. Now, close your eyes if you wish, breathe deeply, and let go of the day's burdens. With each word, you'll drift closer to the hidden paths beneath the Misty Mountains, where the soft glow of magic and the steady hum of ancient lore await. Let this story be your guide, leading you to a peaceful slumber where the wonders of Middle-earth will come alive in your dreams. As the story begins, the light of the Shire slowly fades into the comforting glow of twilight. The gentle hum of crickets fills the air, and the golden lanterns along the cobblestone paths flicker like stars on earth. Amid this serene setting, we meet our central figure, Eldrin, a quiet and observant soul whose love for old maps and whispered legends has led him to many untold adventures. Eldrin, a hobbit unlike most of his kind, has always been drawn to the unknown. His round face is marked with a thoughtful expression, his curly hair a soft chestnut brown. Around his shoulders hangs a well-worn satchel filled with tools for exploration, an aged compass, scraps of parchment, and a small vial of glowing elven light gifted by a distant traveler. His hands, steady yet curious, often trace the delicate lines of ancient maps he's collected from long-forgotten corners of Middle-earth. Eldrin's story begins in his cozy hobbit hole, where the fire crackles warmly, casting long shadows across the room. The walls are lined with shelves of scrolls and books, their pages filled with tales of distant lands and hidden treasures. A particular map, yellowed with age, lies spread across the wooden table. Its intricate lines depict the vast Misty Mountains, with markings that hint at secret paths and forgotten ruins beneath their peaks. This map was a gift from his old friend Galdor, a wandering scholar who once spoke of a hidden relic buried deep within the mountains, a relic that could hold the power to shift the balance of Middle-earth. The stories of this artifact had fascinated Eldrin since his youth, and tonight, as the stars glitter above the Shire, he can no longer resist the call to uncover the truth. The evening breeze carries whispers of adventure as Eldrin prepares for his journey. He packs his satchel with care, placing the map at its center, along with a small loaf of bread, a flask of water, and his trusted walking stick. His heart beats with quiet anticipation, not with fear, but with the exhilaration of the unknown. As Eldrin steps outside, the soft glow of the Shire fades behind him, replaced by the vast horizon stretching toward the Misty Mountains. The air feels cooler, laden with the promise of discovery. He takes a deep breath, adjusts the strap of his satchel, and begins his journey, the sound of his footsteps blending with the whispers of the night. As Eldrin ventured further from the comforts of the Shire, the landscape began to shift. The gentle rolling hills gave way to rugged trails where the earth was harder and the air carried a crisp chill. Above him, the stars sparkled like scattered diamonds, their glow offering faint guidance through the shadows of the night. Eldrin's thoughts were alive with the mysteries of the map tucked safely in his satchel, the promise of uncovering secrets long forgotten, keeping his steps steady. The trail wound through a dense forest, where ancient trees towered above, their gnarled branches forming an intricate canopy. The forest seemed alive, its silence punctuated by the soft rustle of leaves and the distant hoot of an owl. Eldrin paused briefly to light his small lantern, the soft glow casting warm light on the path ahead. As he walked, he noticed faint etchings on the trunks of some trees, markings that matched those on the map. "This must be the signs Galdor spoke of," Eldrin whispered, his voice barely audible over the soft crunch of leaves underfoot. He traced the markings with his fingers, feeling a faint hum of energy, as though the forest itself acknowledged his journey. The forest opened to a narrow valley, where the path became rocky and uneven. Eldrin's lantern illuminated the jagged stones underfoot, casting long, shifting shadows. In the distance, he spotted a faint glow, a shimmering light that seemed to pulse rhythmically. As he approached, he discovered a small, crystal-clear pool surrounded by moss-covered stones. The light came from beneath the water, where tiny, luminous creatures danced in harmony. Kneeling beside the pool, Eldrin felt a deep sense of calm, as if the water held a piece of the peace he'd left behind in the Shire. He dipped his hand into the cool water, and for a moment he thought he heard faint whispers, gentle, melodic voices that seemed to speak in a language older than Middle-earth itself. The map's markings suddenly seemed clearer, as though the pool had revealed hidden truths. The journey grew more challenging as Eldrin ascended a steep, rocky trail leading toward the Misty Mountains. The path was shrouded in a thick mist that clung to the air, muffling the sounds of his footsteps. The mist seemed alive, swirling around him in deliberate patterns, revealing glimpses of the towering peaks ahead. Eldrin's heart quickened as he reached an ancient stone archway, half buried under creeping vines. The archway was carved with intricate runes, their shapes glowing faintly in the misty air. He held up his lantern, the warm light revealing the runes more clearly. They matched the symbols on the map, confirming that he was on the right path. "I'm close," he murmured to himself, his voice steady despite the chill that seeped into his bones. The archway seemed to invite him forward, its silent presence both comforting and mysterious. As Eldrin passed through the archway, the terrain transformed once more. He found himself in a hidden glade where the air was warmer and the mist lifted slightly, revealing a small, weathered shrine at the center. The shrine was adorned with offerings, tiny figurines, dried flowers, and shards of polished stone, all arranged with reverence. Eldrin approached cautiously, his lantern casting a gentle glow over the scene. He noticed a carved pedestal at the heart of the shrine, its surface etched with runes similar to those on the archway. Resting atop the pedestal was a small, intricately designed key, its metal shimmering as though it had been freshly forged. As Eldrin reached out to take the key, he felt a subtle vibration in the air, as though the shrine itself was responding to his presence. The key was warm to the touch, its weight surprisingly light in his hand. He studied it closely, noting the tiny symbols etched along its edge, symbols that matched those on his map. "This must be the key to the passage," Eldrin whispered, a mixture of awe and determination in his voice. He carefully placed the key in his satchel, knowing it would guide him to the next stage of his journey. The final stretch of the trail led Eldrin to a narrow mountain pass where the wind howled softly, carrying with it a sense of urgency. The map showed a hidden entrance, marked by 3 distinct stones arranged in a triangular formation. Eldrin's lantern illuminated the path ahead, and his keen eyes quickly spotted the stones, their surfaces weathered but unmistakable. Kneeling before the stones, Eldrin noticed a small indentation in the center of the triangle, a keyhole perfectly shaped to fit the key he had found. With steady hands, he inserted the key and turned it gently. A low rumble echoed through the pass as a hidden door slowly creaked open, revealing a dark passageway leading into the heart of the Misty Mountains. Eldrin hesitated for a moment, taking a deep breath to steady himself. The passage was foreboding, its walls lined with jagged stone and faintly glowing crystals. Yet, it also held the promise of answers, of treasures untold and mysteries unraveled. With his lantern held high and his heart filled with determination, Eldrin stepped into the passage, the door closing silently behind him. The soft glow of the crystals illuminated his path, guiding him deeper into the mountain's embrace. His journey was far from over, but he knew he was exactly where he needed to be. This section of the tale sets the stage for Eldrin's deeper exploration, blending mystery, discovery, and the quiet strength of a hobbit's courage. As the journey unfolds, the wonders and challenges of the Misty Mountains will reveal themselves, drawing listeners further into the magic of Middle-earth. Eldrin's lantern cast a warm glow against the cold, damp walls of the hidden passage as he ventured deeper into the heart of the Misty Mountains. The air was thick with an ancient stillness, broken only by the faint drip of water echoing through the cavernous space. Each step felt like a quiet conversation with the mountain itself, the crunch of gravel beneath his feet resonating like a gentle whisper. As he rounded a corner, the passage widened into a vast chamber, its ceiling lost in the shadows above. Eldrin stepped in his tracks, his breath catching at the sight before him. The walls of the chamber were studded with glowing crystals, their light dancing across the smooth stone floor like a symphony of stars. In the center stood a towering pedestal, carved from obsidian and adorned with intricate runes that seemed to pulse with a life of their own. Approaching the pedestal cautiously, Eldrin noticed an object resting atop it, a spherical artifact about the size of an apple, shimmering with an otherworldly radiance. The sphere seemed to contain a swirling mist, its movements hypnotic and endlessly shifting. The map's markings had hinted at a discovery of great significance, but this artifact surpassed anything Eldrin had imagined. With trembling hands, he reached out and gently lifted the sphere from the pedestal. It was surprisingly light, its surface cool and smooth against his fingertips. The moment he held it, a faint vibration coursed through him, as though the artifact recognized his presence. A soft hum filled the chamber, and the runes on the pedestal glowed brighter, illuminating the surrounding walls with an ethereal light. Eldrin felt a sudden warmth emanating from the sphere, and with it came a vision, faint and fragmented, like a dream half remembered. He saw glimpses of ancient beings, their forms tall and graceful, walking through golden halls beneath the earth. He saw rivers of molten gold flowing through veins of stone, and heard the distant echo of a hauntingly beautiful melody. The vision shifted, revealing scenes of conflict and despair. Shadowy figures moved through the darkness, their forms wreathed in flame, and their eyes burning with malice. Eldrin's heart tightened as he realized he was witnessing echoes of the mountain's past, its glory and its grief intertwined in a single, fleeting moment. The vision faded, leaving Eldrin standing alone in the quiet chamber, the artifact still cradled in his hands. He took a deep breath, steadying himself as the magnitude of the discovery settled over him. This was no ordinary object. It was a piece of the mountain's soul, a relic of its history, and perhaps a key to its future. As he turned to leave the chamber, Eldrin noticed something he hadn't seen before, a narrow passage hidden behind a curtain of shimmering crystals. The artifact in his hands seemed to pulse gently, as though urging him forward. He hesitated for only a moment before stepping through the crystals, the cool light dancing across his face. The passage led to a smaller chamber where the air was warmer and the ground covered in a soft carpet of moss. At the center of the chamber stood an ancient stone table, its surface etched with symbols that matched those on the artifact. Surrounding the table were 4 statues, each depicting a different figure: a dwarf, an elf, a man, and a hobbit. Their expressions were serene, their hands outstretched toward the center of the table, as if in unity. Placing the artifact gently on the table, Eldrin watched as the symbols began to glow, their light spreading outward in intricate patterns. The statues seemed to come alive, their faces illuminated with a soft golden hue. A low hum filled the air, growing in intensity until it resonated deep within Eldrin's chest. The hum subsided, replaced by a gentle voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "Seeker of truth," the voice said, its tone warm and melodic, "you have awakened the memory of the mountain. What you hold is a fragment of its heart, a piece of its essence long hidden from the world. Guard it well, for it holds the power to heal or to destroy, depending on the hands that wield it." Eldrin listened in awe, the weight of the artifact's significance pressing against him. The voice continued, revealing the history of the relic. It was created in an age-long past, forged by the combined efforts of the free peoples of Middle-earth to protect the balance of the land. But when greed and mistrust fractured their alliance, the artifact was hidden deep within the mountains, waiting for a time when unity might be restored. The revelation filled Eldrin with a sense of purpose he hadn't known before. He realized that his journey was not just about uncovering a mystery. It was about preserving a legacy, a symbol of hope in a world that often seemed consumed by shadow. As the light from the artifact faded, the chamber returned to its quiet stillness. Eldrin carefully placed the artifact back into his satchel, its warmth a comforting reminder of the responsibility he now carried. He turned to leave, his steps lighter and his heart steadier. The path back through the mountain was no less challenging, but Eldrin felt a newfound clarity guiding him. The map in his hands seemed to glow faintly, its markings leading him toward the next stage of his journey. He knew the road ahead would be filled with challenges, but he also knew he wasn't alone. The mountain itself had acknowledged his quest, its voice a constant echo in his mind. Emerging from the passage into the crisp mountain air, Eldrin paused to take in the vast expanse before him. The world seemed brighter, its colors richer and more vibrant than before. He felt a deep connection to the land, as though he had become a part of its story, woven into its tapestry of light and shadow. With renewed determination, Eldrin set off down the mountain, the artifact secure in his satchel and the knowledge of its significance etched into his heart. His journey was far from over, but he knew he was on the path he was meant to follow, a path that would lead him to uncover even greater mysteries, and perhaps to help restore the balance Middle-earth so desperately needed. This section builds a turning point in Eldrin's journey, blending discovery, reflection, and purpose while maintaining the soothing, immersive tone of the story. The artifact and its history serve as a bridge between the past and the future, deepening the narrative and drawing the listener further into the magic of Middle-earth. Eldrin's journey through the Misty Mountains had grown quieter, the echoes of his steps muffled by the thick, moss-covered ground beneath his feet. The air carried a sense of expectancy, as though the mountain itself was holding its breath, watching his every move. He tightened his grip on his satchel, where the warm, pulsating artifact rested, its gentle light spilling out through the fabric. As the passage narrowed, Eldrin's lantern illuminated a carved stone archway ahead. Ancient runes decorated the arch, their lines intricate and elegant, radiating a soft golden glow. Stepping through, he found himself in a grand cavern, its walls shimmering with veins of silver and gold. Stalactites hung from the ceiling like frozen chandeliers, their tips glinting in the dim light. It was a space untouched by time, a sanctuary hidden deep within the mountain's heart. At the center of the cavern stood a figure cloaked in silvery robes, their presence radiating both wisdom and mystery. The figure turned toward Eldrin, their face illuminated by the faint glow of the artifact. It was an elf, tall and regal, their eyes carrying the weight of countless ages. "I am Arendor," the elf said, their voice like the rustle of leaves in a gentle breeze, "guardian of this sacred place and keeper of its secrets." Eldrin felt a strange sense of calm wash over him. The elf's presence was soothing, their words like a balm to his weary spirit. Arendor gestured toward a stone bench carved from the cavern's walls, and the two sat together, the artifact resting between them. "This mountain," Arendor began, "holds stories older than the stars, tales of unity and discord, creation and ruin. What you carry is a fragment of those stories, a key to understanding what once was and what could be again." As they spoke, Arendor reached out a slender hand, lightly tracing the surface of the artifact. Images flickered in Eldrin's mind, great gatherings of elves, dwarves, and men, their voices harmonizing in song, rivers of molten gold flowing through intricate forges, and a shadow spreading across the land, consuming all in its path. "These visions," Arendor continued, "are not just memories, they are warnings. The balance of Middle-earth is fragile, and this artifact is both its symbol and its safeguard. You must choose your path wisely, for the fate of many rests upon it." Arendor rose gracefully, their robes billowing like mist, and motioned for Eldrin to follow. They led him to a narrow passageway at the edge of the cavern, its entrance hidden behind a cascade of glimmering crystals. "This path," Arendor said, "will take you deeper into the mountain, to places where light has not touched for centuries. There, you will find answers, but also challenges. The mountain tests those who seek its secrets." The passage wound downward, the air growing cooler and the light dimmer with each step. Strange markings adorned the walls, their meanings lost to time. Arendor explained their significance, recounting tales of the mountain's original builders, dwarves who had forged alliances with elves to create a sanctuary of unparalleled beauty and strength. "Few remember these alliances now," Arendor said, their voice tinged with sorrow, "but their legacy endures, hidden in places like this, waiting for someone to rediscover it." As they journeyed, the sound of rushing water grew louder, and the passage opened into another cavern. A waterfall cascaded from the ceiling, its waters pooling into a crystal-clear lake that reflected the cavern's shimmering walls. Eldrin stood in awe, the beauty of the scene stealing his breath. Arendor led Eldrin to the edge of the lake, where a cluster of glowing stones formed a natural circle. They gestured for Eldrin to sit, and placed the artifact in the center of the stones. As its light brightened, the water's surface rippled, and a vision began to take shape. Eldrin watched as the lake transformed into a living tapestry, depicting scenes from a bygone era. He saw dwarves and elves working side by side, their hands crafting masterpieces of metal and stone. He saw celebrations under the mountain's vaulted ceilings, the air filled with laughter and song. but the vision darkened, showing the arrival of discord. Greed and mistrust poisoned the alliances, and the sanctuary became a battleground. The once harmonious halls echoed with the clash of swords and the cries of the fallen. Eldrin felt a pang of sorrow, the weight of the mountain's history pressing heavily on his heart. Arendor placed a comforting hand on Eldrin's shoulder. The past cannot be changed, they said softly, but its lessons can guide the future. That is why the artifact has chosen you, to carry its story forward and to ensure its power is used wisely. As the vision faded, Arendor reached into their robes and produced a small, intricately carved pendant. Take this, they said, placing it in Eldrin's hand. It will guide you when the path ahead seems uncertain. Trust in yourself and in the mountain's wisdom. Eldrin nodded, his resolve strengthening. He carefully tucked the pendant into his satchel alongside the artifact, its warmth a reassuring presence. Arendor led him back to the cavern's entrance, their steps slow and deliberate, as though savoring the journey. The mountain has accepted you, Arendor said, but your journey is far from over. Remember what you have seen and learned here, and let it guide you toward the light, even in the darkest moments. As Eldrin stepped through the archway and back into the labyrinthine passages of the mountain, he felt a deep sense of purpose. The road ahead would be challenging, but he was no longer alone. The mountain's secrets were now his to protect, its legacy his to uphold. The ancient passages of the Misty Mountains seemed to hold their breath as Eldrin pressed forward. The walls grew narrower, the air heavier, and the glow of the artifact in his satchel pulsated with a sense of urgency. Every step carried him closer to the heart of the mountain where the final mystery awaited. Despite the weight of the unknown, Eldrin felt a calm determination guiding his movements. The pendant given by Arendor rested warmly against his chest, its subtle glow reassuring him in the encroaching darkness. The tunnel suddenly opened into a vast chamber, its scale both awe-inspiring and daunting. Massive columns of stone reached into the shadows above, their surfaces adorned with glowing inscriptions that seemed to hum faintly in the stillness. At the center of the chamber, a circular dais carved from crystalline stone awaited. Resting upon it was a large, intricate mechanism, its surface encrusted with precious metals and gems that shimmered in the artifact's light. Eldrin approached the dais cautiously, his heart steady despite the weight of the moment. As he placed the artifact in the mechanism's central slot, the room responded. A low hum reverberated through the chamber, growing in intensity until it resonated with the very bones of the mountain. The inscriptions on the walls and columns brightened, their patterns shifting like rivers of molten light. The mechanism began to move, its gears turning with an ancient grace. A beam of light shot upward from its center, piercing the darkness and illuminating a series of images etched into the cavern's ceiling. Eldrin's breath cushied as the story unfolded, a tale of unity and betrayal, of power used for creation and destruction, and of a hope that had never truly been extinguished. As the light faded, a shadow crept into the chamber, coalescing into a dark, shifting figure. Its form was amorphous, its presence oppressive. Eldrin recognized it as the lingering remnant of the discord that had once torn the mountain's sanctuary apart. "You seek to restore what was lost," the shadow hissed, its voice a cold whisper that echoed through the chamber. "But the past cannot be undone, and its pain cannot be forgotten. What gives you the right to claim this legacy?" Eldrin stood his ground, his voice steady despite the weight of the shadow's presence. "I do not seek to undo the past," he said. "I seek to honor it, to learn from it, and to carry its lessons forward. The mountain's story deserves to be remembered, not buried in darkness." The shadow hesitated, its form flickering as if unsure. "Words are easily spoken," it said, its tone wary. "But conviction is proven through action. Show me that your resolve is true." The pendant around Eldrin's neck glowed brighter, its warmth spreading through him like a shield. Guided by an inner certainty, he reached out and touched the mechanism. A surge of light erupted from the dais, driving the shadow back. As the shadow dissipated, the room transformed. The inscriptions on the walls and columns settled into a steady glow, and the ceiling displayed a vision of what the mountain had once been, a sanctuary of unity and beauty, a place where differences were celebrated rather than feared. The mechanism released the artifact, its surface now engraved with new patterns that shimmered like starlight. Eldrin held it in his hands, its weight both literal and symbolic. It was no longer just an artifact. It was a testament to the mountain's enduring legacy, a symbol of hope and resilience. Arendor's words echoed in his mind. "The balance of Middle-earth is fragile, and this artifact is both its symbol and its safeguard." Eldrin understood now what they had meant. The artifact's power was not in its ability to change the past, but in its capacity to inspire the future. As Eldrin turned to leave the chamber, a gentle breeze swept through the room, carrying with it the faint sound of music, an ancient melody that spoke of harmony and renewal. The columns and walls seemed to bow slightly, as if acknowledging his presence and his role in the mountain's story. The path back through the tunnels felt lighter, the air clearer. Eldrin's steps were no longer weighed down by uncertainty, but guided by purpose. He emerged from the mountain's depths into the cool light of dawn, the world bathed in soft hues of gold and silver. Eldrin paused at the mountain's entrance, looking back at the peaks that towered above him. The artifact pulsed gently in his hands, a reminder of the journey he had undertaken and the lessons he had learned. The world beyond the mountain awaited him, a place of challenges and opportunities, of light and shadow, but Eldrin felt ready to face it, his spirit fortified by the mountain's wisdom and his resolve strengthened by the vision of what could be. As he began the descent toward the valley, the first rays of sunlight broke over the horizon, casting a warm glow over the land. The mountain stood tall behind him, its secrets entrusted to his care, its legacy carried forward in the light of a new day. The sun rose softly over the Misty Mountains, casting long shadows across the rocky terrain. Eldrin stood at the edge of the path, the artifact glowing faintly in his hands. The journey had tested him in ways he could never have imagined. From the silent echoes of the ancient halls to the shadowed chamber where the mountain's truth was revealed, he had emerged with not just the artifact, but a deeper understanding of the balance between light and dark, past and present. Eldrin took a deep breath, letting the crisp mountain air fill his lungs. The warmth of the artifact spread through his hands, a gentle reminder of the lessons it carried. It was not merely an object of power, but a bridge between eras, a symbol of unity, of remembering what once was to build a better future. The descent from the mountain was unhurried, every step a reflection of the path he had traveled. The landscape seemed softer now, the jagged edges of the peaks illuminated by the golden light of morning. As Eldrin made his way down, he paused to take in the beauty of Middle-earth, the rolling valleys, the winding rivers, the faint hum of life awakening to a new day. In the quiet moments, the voices of those he had met on his journey echoed in his mind. Arendor's wisdom, the friendly laughter of the dwarves who had guided him, even the shadow's parting words of caution, each memory was a thread in the tapestry of his adventure. At the base of the mountain, Eldrin stopped to rest by a small, crystal-clear stream. The water mirrored the sky's serene blue, rippling gently with the breeze. He placed the artifact beside him and ran his fingers through the cool water, its touch grounding him in the present. The artifact pulsed faintly, as if sharing his moment of peace. Eldrin knew his journey was far from over. The artifact's secrets would take time to unravel, its lessons to be shared carefully with those who would listen. Yet, he felt no urgency, only a calm resolve to let the path unfold as it would. The mountain had taught him that the weight of history was not a burden to be feared, but a guide to be respected. Sitting by the stream, Eldrin took out a small journal and began to write. The words flowed easily, recounting the sights and sounds of the journey, the fears he had faced, and the quiet triumphs he had achieved. Each sentence was a thread connecting him to the past and weaving a story for those who might follow. As he wrote, a gentle breeze stirred the pages, carrying with it the faint scent of mountain blossoms. Eldrin smiled, feeling the mountain's presence as a quiet reassurance, a reminder that he was never truly alone. As the sun climbed higher, Eldrin packed his belongings, the artifact safely tucked away. The path ahead led back to the familiar lands of the Shire, where life would continue in its steady, comforting rhythm. Yet, Eldrin knew he would carry the mountain's wisdom with him, its legacy shaping the choices he would make and the stories he would share. Turning one last time to look at the Misty Mountains, Eldrin felt a deep sense of gratitude. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice carried by the wind. The mountains stood silent and steadfast, their peaks gleaming in the sunlight, as if acknowledging his words. As Eldrin walked away, his steps were light, his heart at peace. The world around him seemed brighter, the shadows less daunting. The mountain's secrets were safe, its lessons ready to guide Middle-earth toward a future built on understanding and unity. And now, my sleepy fellows, as you journey toward your own dreams, let the calm of Eldrin's tale guide you to a place of peace. Imagine the gentle streams of the mountain, the soft glow of the artifact, and the warmth of the rising sun. Let the echoes of Middle-earth's ancient wisdom fill your heart, soothing your mind and easing you into a restful sleep. Close your eyes and picture the quiet beauty of the Shire, the rolling hills bathed in golden light. Hear the distant song of the mountain breeze, carrying with it the stories of those who came before. Know that you are part of this tale, a welcomed traveler in the vast, magical world of Middle-earth. May your dreams be filled with wonder and serenity, and may the lessons of this journey stay with you as you rest. Until we meet again, may the light of Middle-earth guide your path, and may your heart find peace in its gentle glow. Good night, and may your dreams be as boundless as the skies above the Misty Mountains.